Welcome to Chinatown. We're here at 12 Pell, Carho. We're a lifestyle store dedicated to personal care and style.
I'm Matthew, one of the owner of 12 Pell. Why Chinatown? Chinatown is pretty much where we grew up, pretty much how we actually met. It just had a lot of history in our past childhood, and a lot of our friends are here, and I always end up being here, even though me living in Queens, which is quite far away. My family works around here. My parents, my grandparents, my whole generation is built around Chinatown. So that was one of the main reasons why we chose Chinatown as the main epicenter.
That's a fact. I actually grew up on Bayard, so it's only 2 blocks away. So like when I moved here when I was 6. So, and ever since then I moved into my grandma's apartment there, and then I got familiar with Chinatown then. Like, this is the spot, This is where we all hang out. Whether or not you're from Chinatown, if you're Chinese, you come in through once a month at least to get your groceries, to have dim sum, to have family dinners. Like, this is the place. And I think being the fact that, this is our stomping grounds, we felt the need to have to do something here. So like when we looked at retail spaces, we looked all around. Like when I came up with the idea, I was like, okay, what's the per square foot cost here? What about in the Lower East Side? Like we could have done this in the Lower East Side because the vibes are there already. The industry's set. Like, people are into fashion, people are into streetwear there. People are all about the sick cuts and the fresh fades over there. So it was like to get into that industry over there was already that audience. For us to do something here, we would have to kind of build that audience and let people know it's available here now. And that was going to be a much bigger challenge, but it was just way more meaningful for us to do it here because it meant a lot more to us and it meant a lot more for the community. So I think at the end of the day, it was just like, there was nowhere but Chinatown for us to start this business. When I pitched him the idea, he was like, how is this business going to make money? He's like, I could be making more money doing X, Y, Z. And that's what he told me. And then we debated over this a long time because that's the truth. Like, if we spent the time that we did on this project doing something else, investing in another career, or even just reselling by itself, or taking what we were good at and expanding on it, we would have been wealthy. Not wealthy, but we would have been well off. It would have been better. But the fact is that the amount of time that we put in here, the amount of effort that we put in here, and the amount of money that we put in here didn't produce the return, as great of a return as it could have. And the thing is and the reason why we weren't concerned about the return, not the R or the O, we were concerned with the I. So this was all an investment. The way we see it is that this is an audience for us. This is a culture, this is a community, and we're investing in the people that we believe in. I want to inspire more entrepreneurs moving forward. We want to be able to create that community so that if someone has this idea to do something like this, they'll come to us and be like, hey, Carl, Matt, what do you guys think about this idea? Like, I'm trying to do this, and then they don't have to make the same mistakes. Well, we can guide them along that process. We'll have a lot of resources like videographers, photographers, designers. Like these are the people that we worked with building on this project. These are the people that we want to continue to attract. So at the end of the day, it's like having this as a resource, having this as a network, having this as a community means way more than us than just the money. I think it's the millennial generation. The fact that growing up, we look at a lot of these, the people that inspire us, these influencers growing up in this culture. We're inspired to be entrepreneurs. We're inspired to break the rules, and we're inspired to push the standards. And I think that's what defines us as millennials. And we're here to change the game. We're here to deliver a new experience for you guys because conventional and traditional isn't enough. We want to be able to break those bounds and be like, yo, we're doing something wild here. And this is exactly what we're doing. Like, people walk by our store and they walk past this little narrow door, and then they look inside and they go, whoa, they double take. They take a couple steps back, and then they really look in and go, what's going on here? Like, you don't see anybody do that with a normal barbershop, because you walk by a barbershop, you think it's a barbershop. But when you walk by 12 Pell, you walk by here and you go, oh, wait, what? And it's like your brain doesn't process it and you walk by so fast, you have to do a double take. So I think with that, I think there's a huge cultural shift because it's a difference in the way that we think. And we think that standard just isn't good enough. It's hustle.
It's hustle.
It's
It's the
hustle.
passion. I mean, I've always been into shoes and just seeing. It's just passion, you know, and I just love doing it. Sneakers and reselling and.
You know what it is? I always tell people who ask me, like, how do you find time to do what you do want to do and what you like to do? And I tell them, there's always going to be 3 priorities in your life, and you're always going to have time for it. It's just a matter of you moving those 3 priorities around and what's more important to you at that moment, you know? So like, at that point in time, it was work. It was also working out, and it was sneakers. So it was like, all 3 things were really important to me. Then I thought about it and reevaluated my life when I was like, you know, moving up in the corporate world, and time was, you know, not really changing. You know, the work life wasn't really changing. And I was thinking like, you know, what really matters to me is family. I need to take one of those out. So I took out the work, replaced it with the family, and made it hustle. And it was just like, you just had to make it work.